Hi guys, welcome back again to another video. Karibuni. So in today's video, we are paying a visit to the National Museum of Tanzania. So the amazing history and fun facts we can learn here. Let's go! Isn't this view beautiful? Today, let me be your history teacher. So, the National Museum of Tanzania was built in 1934 and is one amongst the 5 museums in Tanzania. Its purpose is to preserve and show exhibits about the history and natural environments of Tanzania.
Let that be free, and let me give you just a short story of Tanzania. Actually, was planted here in 1912 during German rule in Tanganyika. But we say Mkuyu. Mkuyu. Yes, that's in Kiswahili. But the scientific name of that big tree in English pronunciation is known as Ficus religiosa. May you please say Ficus religiosa? Yes. These two cars, which are green in color and gray in color, both of these cars are known as Austin Morris. Austin Morris at the top of the car that were manufactured in England and they're used by the town leaders. TANU means Tanganyika African National Union, so it was a political party of Tanganyikans, and the main function of that political party at that time was to struggle for independence of this country. So town leaders, including Mwalimu Nyerere and the youths of town, were using that cars for town activities, but also they were using that cars for transportation. BP stands for British Petroleum. It was a pump that was used to fill fuel in the government vehicles and the test vehicles in 1950s. And that pump had got a capacity of filling fuel from 5 to 10 liters at once. And it was located at Keko area in Temeke municipality in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And that car, that is a Rolls Royce that was manufactured in England and used by the town leaders. And that car, actually, it was used before independence. So British leaders were using that cars for their activities. So after independence, that car was taken by the government of Tanganyika and used by our first president of this country, known as Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. So now, Mercedes-Benz, that was manufactured in Germany, and it was used by Mwalimu Nyerere, actually for the activities of the East African community. East African community at that time started from 1967 and they ended in 1967. So East African community, each country at that time had its own car for the community activities.
Let's climb upstairs and see what's there.
Our first president of this country. So Mwalimu Nyerere, after retiring in a presidential position in 1985, he went to Arusha. People for Arusha gave Mwalimu Nyerere that red line as a gift to him for his good and strong leadership of leading this country. So what is inside of that line, for instance, and tongue and other things inside are fake things. Fake things in that lion are there in order to preserve the appearance of that lion.
Here, this is a representation of Tanzania as a wildlife conservation country.
And of course, today we're using modern statistical food, but still that type of cooking process is using the start even today. If you go to some hotel or restaurant which are dealing with international food, you can see that type of cooking process are still used. But even in some houses of the localists in Tanzania, some of them, they still use that type of cooking process. So, that's why they came from the mother country to try to get resources that we have in this country. Slavery and slave trade. So this man with long beard like Osama bin Laden by the time was known as Tip Tip. His nickname. The real name of that man was Hamad bin Muhammad al-Majab. The story in brief of that man. He was born in Zanzibar in 1840. His mother was an African, but his father was an Arab. And this man was an ivory trader and a slave trader. And because he was a Muslim, also, he converted the people from the traditional belief to Islamic religion. And even these people whom we see, these are the slaves. These people were converted from their traditional belief to Islamic religion. So in short, these people who are known as slaves actually were the localists who were living in coastal areas. So during slavery, people were captured from Bagamoyo, from Kilwa, from Mombasa in Kenya, from here in Dar es Salaam, from Pangani in Tanga, and different coastal areas. So after that slaves being captured, they were chained in that way and they were sent to Zanzibar. Historically, Zanzibar was the main slave market in East Africa. So from Zanzibar, slaves were waiting for a ship to be transported for being sold to different countries in the world. For instance, Slaves from East African countries historically were sent to Yemen, Oman, and other Arabic countries, but other slaves were sent to Spain and France. Instead of these three ladies were inspected teeth and the breasts that were to be sold. You see? And here, this is a slave market that was in Zanzibar during slavery. And here, actually here, this is, so there was a door which carried slaves from Africa, and when that door was passed in England, British soldiers of England captured that door. So when that British soldiers entered inside the door, they saw slaves were chained. So they started to release that slaves from their chains, that these slaves should be free, because by the time elements of human rights started in England. So doing that business was now illegal, means prohibited. But one thing which can be a major reason supported the abolition of slave trade was not human rights, as they were saying, because human rights were there, but even these people didn't care on that because it was a business that was giving them benefit. So the main reason that supported the abolition of slave trade was due to industrial revolution in Europe, which led to the change from human labor supply to machinery labor supply. You see? And here, restricting him to escape. According to his age, if it could be today, we could say that this is a torture which is against human rights. But by that time, it was a normal thing for them to treat a such boy in such a way, as you can see in that photo. Okay, let us move on. The ivory, which will also prove beyond a reasonable doubt that for a long time, elephants were huge. So that is the ivory which I was talking about. Today's elephant has got very small ivory and it looks like mustache. So that is proving on how big was that elephant at that time. You see? And here, to show you the story, this is the part of the chain that was used to tie slaves together in the neck. So during slavery, there were some chains for the children and the chains for the dogs. So after slaves being captured, they were chained in the neck and they were pulled like a dog. That's how the shape was during slavery. The man was a Scottish missionary whom introduced Christianity in our country. So among the gospel preachers who preached the gospel to spread Christianity in this country through Jesus Christ is including that man, Dr. David Livingstone. So when that man was here in Tanganyika, there was a certain European known as Henry Morton Stanley who came from Europe to find that man, Dr. David Livingstone, here in Tanganyika. So after meeting together between Henry Morton Stanley and that Dr. David Livingstone, after meeting together here in Tanganyika at Ujiji Kigoma in 1871, Henry Morton Stanley said to that Dr. David Livingstone, by that statement which has been shown here below, that Henry saw him, he said, Dr. Livingstone, I presume, means I believe that the one whom I was looking for. And they put that symbol to show that we have met together in Tanganyika. And that was a symbol in brief after meeting together of that people. And this is the box used by that Dr. Livingstone in keeping the Bible and the other small things belonging to him. This man was the assistant of that Dr. David Livingstone. And here now, after meeting together between Henry Morton Stanley and that Dr. David Livingstone, after meeting together at Ujiji Kigoma in Tanganyika in 1871, they also decided to construct this monument as a symbol for them to show the people that you have met together in Tanganyika.
Here are some of the currencies used during the British era and after colonization. Where are my historians? So this room is known as Chimbuko la Binadamu, which means the cradle of mankind. But literally, it means where humankind started. And I know you've heard of Olduvai Gorge, some stories. So this is a house that has a copy of the famous fossil discoveries of Zyganthropus from the Olduvai Gorge. You won't get this anywhere unless it's the National Museum of Tanzania. Plus other archaeological findings. Let's wander through this archaeological collection room. This is very beautiful.
You know how to play? I used to play. This is tilapia. It's known as perege.
Here is the memorial of the 1998 bombings. August 1998, a tragic event occurred and more than 200 people died in a simultaneous truck bomb explosions here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi, Kenya. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Lastly, here are some beautiful cloth, the Maasai cloth, tie and dye, all made in Tanzania bags and their beautiful arts. Thanks for watching the video.